as they went. Considering that the parigram would not be complete without hearing about the pastimes Mahaprabhu had enacted in that locale, the next morning 100 to 200 pilgrims, mostly males, returned to the place where they had been intimidated the previous evening. When Srimad Tirtha Maharaj was lecturing, a gang of ruffians suddenly appeared and pelted brickbats at the elephant's trunk. Parigram attendees admonished the aggressors to desist from the offensive act of harassing the deity's mount, and to their surprise the rogues departed. But minutes later they returned, wielding large sticks which they had kept ready in proximate shops. The defenceless pilgrims quickly brought the deities of Shri Shri Radha Govinda down into their midst, thinking that surely these felons would not continue their atrocities in the direct presence of the Lord. Then a well-known rich man of Navadvip drove up in a car and barked out an order, upon which the ruthless blackguards, lurking nearby, some perched on rooftops, left forth a volley of brickbats.
The Mahout quickly maneuvered the elephant away from trouble, but escape was not so easy for the pilgrims. Some found shelter in homesteads, yet most doors remained shut. The few brave householders who dared offer refuge had their doors kicked and beaten on. Some devotees fled down adjacent alleys. Those who beseeched local coachmen to transport them were scornfully refused, and became further aghast to behold the horse carts loaded with stones as ammunition. The few devotees who tried to fight back were outnumbered and beleaguered. Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhu was captured, yet remained undaunted, asserting himself boldly, even though threatened to be offered as a human sacrifice on the spot. A few devotees suffered severe gashes and fractures. A youth was knocked unconscious. Mridangas and banners were broken, and Kunja Bihari Prabhu was robbed of 600 rupees and his winter clothing. But although Navadvip streets became stained by the blood of Vaishnavas, by Lord Nrsimhadev's grace, none were killed. Srila Saraswati Thakur had escaped due to the adroitness of Vinod Bihari Brahmachari, who had entreated a reluctant house owner to give them entry. Therein, Vinod Bihari, being similar in size and appearance to his Gurudev, swapped his white clothing with the red of his Guru Maharaj. With great risk, he then escorted Srila Saraswati Thakur back to Mayapur. As was later revealed by sympathetic local residents, the dastardly attack had been planned by certain caste Goswamis, who most grossly offended both the deities and an acclaimed acharya by unconscionably hiring criminals to perpetrate violence on pilgrims engaged in peacefully chanting Harinam in a holy place, who should have been received as guests in the sacred dham. This was their rejoinder to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's exposure of their cheating in the name of Lord Chaitanya. Having no power to counteract his message, they had stopped to the lowest level in trying to stop him. But stop him they could not. The shocked public sided with the Gaudiya Math, and the pilgrimage continued under police protection. The flagitious tactics of the Jata Gosanis had backfired, for this incident ineradicably tarnished their reputation and influence. Overnight, the caste Goswami's opposition to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati lost whatever apparent credibility it previously had.
As news of the assault spread throughout Bengal, Learned circles protested in magazines and newspapers. 4 days later, Ananda Bazar Patrika quoted an eyewitness. I witnessed the reenactment of what Jagai and Madai did to Sri Nityananda Prabhu over 400 years ago. Subsequently, the chief police inspector of Navadvip was cashiered, and the next year the Parikram party was protected by an escort of 36 policemen. Srila Saraswati Thakur mentioned the episode in his commentary on Sri Chaitanya Bhagavad. A few days ago in Kulia Nagara, some persons, with the help of a few fierce miscreants, rather than offering respect, unfairly attacked innocent Vaishnav sannyasis, Brahmins and devotee women, all of whom had come to participate in circumambulating the Dham. All these are simply unfavourable activities against the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Dev. However, when urged to make a case against the hooligans, Srila Saraswati Thakur declined, opining that they had done yeoman service. Otherwise, how could the Gaudiya Math have been featured on the front pages of the newspapers? From 1926 to 1930. Are we keeping going? Want to keep going? Okay.
I just wanted to say also that that Vinod Bihari Brahmachari, who took the clothes and risked his life, became, as a sannyasi, Bhakti Pragyan Maharaj, who was Srila Prabhupada's sannyas guru, and whom he always respected very highly.
In September 1928, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati laid the foundation for a major new temple on just over 3 acres adjoining the Ganga in Bagh Bazar, Calcutta. The complex was envisioned to be a far more opulent and sizable structure than the previous, with all facilities and accoutrements suitable for a dynamic and prominent religious movement. The location was of great spiritual significance, as evidenced by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's repeatedly stating during a visit to the building site, Mahaprabhu must have blessed this place with the touch of his divine feet. There is no doubt about it. On the way from Viranagara, Mahaprabhu definitely stopped here on the bank of the Ganga and performed Sankirtan with his associates. Speaking thus, he became overwhelmed in transcendental emotion. Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saranga Goswami conjectured, that's probably why this land remained vacant for so long. Otherwise, there being so many available plots in Calcutta, how has this one become the site for the new mutt? Sri Jagabandhu Bhakti Rajana Prabhu, the sole donor, took charge of construction and pushed hard to quickly realise the project. But after 2 years of intense effort and a few postponed openings, it remained unfinished. Mostly because Jagabandhu Prabhu refused to compromise on quality and is ever adding some new ornate decoration. Finally, it was decided to occupy the buildings in their incomplete condition. On 12 October 1930, the Liberty reported.
On Sunday, the 5th of October, the streets of North Calcutta were scenes of a record procession on the occasion of the new Gaudiya Math constructed in Bagh Bazar. Devotees from different provinces of India, namely Bengal, Assam, Bihar, Orissa, Madras, United Provinces and the Punjab, had been pouring into Calcutta for days before the ceremony. Since Sunday morning, sympathizers and disciples began to gather at the premises of the old Gaudiya Mat, and toward noon its surroundings extended up to Circular Road, a Maniktola Junction, extending up to Circular Road, a Maniktola Junction presented the view of a vast sea of heads. Hundreds of Sankirtan parties from different quarters of Calcutta and suburbs, varieties of concert and band parties, joined the procession. The Sri Vigrahas of the Gaudiya Mat, Sri Gaura Vinod Anandaji, preceded and followed by congregational chant of the holy name, mounted on a most sumptuously decorated car, Rath, were on the move at 2:30 p.m, amidst deafening shouts of Harinam by the vast multitude in unison with the devotees of the Mat. Conch shells were blown, various kinds of music began to play, Vedic mantras and selected Sanskrit hymns were being chanted, and the concerted sound of Sankirtan seemed to rend the skies as the car rolled on at the instance of Paramahansa Sri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, the Acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, preceded and followed by innumerable devotees with flags, festoons, silver rods and silver spears. The procession was about 2 miles long. The whole city seemed to be in a tremor, and it was a sight for the gods to see. The car was a piece of true artistic beauty, in perfect keeping with the solemn occasion. In charming costumes, the soul-enrapturing beauty of the Sri Vigrahas on the car was the cynosure of all eyes. Millions of eager visitors thronged the footpaths, corridors and roofs throughout the route of the procession. Calcutta had not witnessed such a gigantic religious procession within the memory of its oldest citizens. The procession, which consisted of no less than 43 distinct sections, was formed inside the line by about 25,000 persons on a rough estimate. And that's the end of that report. All classes of people joined the parade, including several dignitaries of the secular world. The windows and verandas overlooking the 2-mile route, which took nearly 4 hours to traverse, were packed with ladies taking darshan from above the crowd. The Gaudiya described the event. Today, the city of Calcutta has become stunned. Everyone left his daily work meant for maintaining his belly. When the tumultuous sound of kirtan was heard on the streets of Calcutta, all the people were attracted, left whatever they were doing, and came dashing into the street. The devotees accompanying the chariot were singing a paean, composed by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur especially for the occasion. Matala Harijana Vishaya Range, Pujala Raga Pata Gorave Bange, Brahmalo Chadi Boga Chinmaya Bange, Daolo Pati Pati Bhakata Sange, Chadalo Paragara Achite Ganga, Bujhalo Rasa Nite, Nacharo Dange. Although apparently absorbed in material affairs, Hari's own people were actually worshipping on the spontaneous path and thus broke the mood of reverential worship. Having rejected mundane enjoyment, they wandered in spiritual Bengal, running on the roads with other devotees. Giving up another's house and worshipping the Ganga, they danced gracefully with understanding of the works of rasa. The parade attracted so much attention that a local cinema replayed film coverage of it for 9 consecutive days. And crowd pressure on opening day bent a solid iron banister at the Mat. The Gaudiya Mat had begun as a small group of idealists with practically no money or assets. But after the inauguration of this grand temple, the mission became fantastically prosperous. Bounteous funds were received, wonderful festivals held, and many new devotees recruited.
Yashomati Nandana Rajamarnagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Yashomati Nandana Rajamarnagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Kaliya Damana Vidana Damana Vidana Amala Harinama Miya Vilasa Amala Harinama Miya Vilasa Vipina Purandara Navina Nagara Bara Vamshi Badana Subhasa Vipina Purandara Navina Nagara Bara Vamshi Badana Subhasa Rajajana Palana Surakula Nashana Nanda Godana Rakhovala Nanda Godana Rakhovala Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Sundarananda Gopala Sundarananda Gopala Jamuna Tatachara Gopi Basanahara Rasarasika kripa moya Yamuna tatachara gopi basanahara Rasarasika kripa moya Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Nattabara Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Nattabara Bhakti Vinodashraya Bhakti Vinodashraya Yashomati Nandana Brajabaranagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Lord Krishna is the beloved son of Mother Yashoda, the transcendental lover in the land of Braja, the delight of Gokul, Kana, a nickname of Krishna, the wealth of the lives of the gopis. He steals the mind of even Cupid and punishes the Kaliya serpent.
Krishna wanders along the banks of the river Jamuna. He stole the garments of the young damsels of Braja who were bathing there. He delights in the mellows of the rasa dance. He is very merciful, the lover and beloved of Srimati Radha Rani, the great dancer of Vrindavan, and the shelter and only refuge of Thakur Bhakti Vinod. So I only know just he liked Yasomati Nandan, and they sang Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Rupa Manjari Pada when he left. But I know that his father was his Siksha Guru, and he would have sung all these songs. So I think we can just choose any of the songs that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written. Would you like to do one, Prabhu? Bhajan?
$70 in this one. Do you want to start a tune and I'll just fit in with you? No? Hare Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha Hare Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopala Govinda Dam Sri Madhusudana Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Sita Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavad Gita Shri Rup Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha Shri Jeev Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha Echai Goshai Kori Charana Vandan Jaha hoiti Vignanash Avishta Puran Echai Goshai Ja Mohita Das Te Sava Padarenu Mora Panchagras Tadera Charana Shevi Bhakta Sanhivas Janami Janami Hoi Abhilas Echai Goshai Jabhi Braja Koi Ludpas Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Korila Prakash Ananda Bholu Hari Braja Vrindavan Sri Guru Vaishnava Padimai Jayaman Sri Guru Vaishnava Pada Padma Koriya Nam Sankirtan Kohi Narotam Das Hare Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha Hare Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha O Lord Hari, O Lord Krishna, I offer my obeisances to you, who are known as Yadava, Hari, Madhava, and Keshava. All glories to Sri Chaitanya and Nityananda. All glories to Sri Advaita Acharya and his consort, Sri Sita Thakurani. All glories to Lord Hari, to the spiritual master, the Vaishnavas, Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavad Gita. I am the servant of that person who is a servant of these 6 Goswamis. The dust of their holy feet is my 5 kinds of foodstuffs. Jai Hare Krishna.
(1930 to 1933). Like great acharyas before him, Srila Saraswati Thakur expanded his activities through his disciples, who preached in several places that he never or only occasionally visited. It seemed unlikely that a religious sect from Bengal could expect much success in Assam. The Assamese had traditionally maintained a strong provincial spirit, being determined to preserve an ethnic identity distinct from their inveterate rivals in neighboring Bengal and Manipur. They were particularly leery of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement brought to Manipur by Bengali preachers some 300 years before and adopted as the state religion, superseding previous customs. The Assamese had their own brand of Vaishnavism, more impersonal than devotional, whose theology and rituals were quite dissimilar to those of Gaudiya Vaishnava Dharma, and they were not inclined to easily relinquish it. Nevertheless, mostly by the vigorous and tenacious efforts of Shripad Nimananda Sevatirtha, an Assamese disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, initial opposition to the Gaudiya Math in Assam gradually slackened and transformed into widespread acceptance. Hundreds of Assamese submitted themselves as disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, who, on his second trip there, became so impressed upon observing the throngs of villagers bringing bags of rice and other donations and expressing natural enthusiasm for bhakti that he promised to henceforth visit once a year, although ultimately he did not again visit Assam.
Just that paragraph. In January 1930, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati attended Kumbh Mela at Prayaga. He preached amid the lux of pilgrims and sent his disciples into the throngs to do likewise. While in Prayaga, he also installed large deities of Sri Sri Radha Krishna as Sri Rupa Gaudiya Mata, at that time still in a rented property. During this period, Srila Saraswati Thakur went to South India 3 times on a whirlwind tour starting late in December 1930. In January 1932 to Madras for installing deities and to accept Vyasa Puja, and a more prolonged visit in the summer of 1932. In November 1931, Srila Saraswati Thakur had Srimad Bon Maharaj convey a spiritual message to Lord Willingdon, the Viceroy of India. In October 1932, he conducted the Rajamandala Parikram with throngs of disciples and other pilgrims, and then journeyed to Haridwar to lay the foundation for the Sri Saraswati Gaudiya Mata. On 30 October 1931, at a site overlooking the hollowed Triveni, the confluence of the 3 holy rivers Ganga, Yamun, and the unmanifest Saraswati, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati laid the foundation stone for the new temple of the Sri Rupa Gaudiya Mata. And on 21 November 1932, the foundation stone for the lecture hall of Sri Rupa Gaudiya Mata was laid by Sir William Malcolm Haley, Governor of the United Provinces, who completed his address thus: "Let me conclude by wishing it success in an effort that, because it is non-sectarian and non-political and teaches a high ideal of universal goodwill, cannot be secure the sympathy of all who would see greater peace and harmony in a troubled world."
On 24th of November, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati consecrated deities of Sri Sri Radha Govinda at the Sri Sanatana Gaudiya Mata in Benares, when proceeded to Calcutta and Mayapur. In December, he went to Dhaka, where he inaugurated a theistic exhibition and lectured daily in the learned elite there. In a lecture given in 1933, Srila Saraswati Thakur commented on these propaganda activities. "I saw in Madras and UP that when royalty came to see me, there were also security personnel there to protect and attend them. There were also 10 or 20 men dressed in red protecting us also. But we are without wealth or possessions. Those men feed and clothe me and take care of my health. Thus, though my physical condition is very poor, I run all over from the ocean to Himachala, preaching everywhere Sri Chaitanya message, Shuddha Bhakti Siddhanta Vani, has become the main work of my life. Many feels that this task is very difficult, whether considered individually or collectively. Hence, they should be able to forgive me."
Established the Mat for Hari Bhajan. What happens to those who do not perform Bhajan is now manifesting. As early as 1927, he penned an appeal for unity. Surrounded by enemies, we are serving the Lord and his devotees with great determination. Each of us, more or less, becomes forgetful of service to Krishna, being servants of our 6 senses. My plea to all of you is to unite and serve the Lord in a spirit of friendship and cooperation, each having the same goal in your hearts. Ekaki amara nahi paya bala. Alone I obtain no strength. Remember this and perform kirtan jagna in unison. The indispensable good quality expected of those in charge of Kirtan Yajna is to have friendship with all Vaishnavas and execute devotional service by pleasing all Vaishnavas. Despite bewailing the plight of the organization he had founded, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati never commented disparagingly about it, for he did not accept that the quintessential Gaudiya Mat could be polluted by the misbehavior of any delinquent members. He delineated the difference between genuine disciples and motivated followers, between the real transcendental Gaudiya Mat and its outer semblance. Sri Gaudiya Mat does not and cannot have anything in common with those who duplicitously join it with a motive to misuse divine knowledge to serve their own selfish ends. Feigned diksha and obtainment of divine knowledge are never identical. Sri Chaitanya and his sincere devotees are eternally present in Sri Gaudiya. Owlish person incapable of seeing light are called Mayavadis, Kamis or wayward non-devotees. In a lecture of 1932, Srila Saraswati Thakur stated how some disciples considered that by his spending profusely on preaching programs and printing, he was embezzling their hard-earned collections. He mentioned by name a particular leading devotee as one of several who thought it better to keep those funds in the bank. But, he continued, my aim is not to make provisions and lay bricks for rascals who will come in the future. Possibly the structures already made will one day become dens of ganja and vice. He further commented that some of his men had voiced the opinion that now there were enough books and magazines, so all printing activities could be scrapped. There was no need for further hard work, for by showing the deity and receiving collections, the Mahavasis could live happily.
A sannyasi once returned from a speaking engagement and declared, quote, I delivered a superb speech that was much appreciated, so I shouldn't take ordinary rice prasad. Cook puris for me. End of quote. When Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati heard of this, he became disappointed and said, Karilam sannyasi hoy gelo vilasi. Quote, I made them renunciates, but they have become voluptuaries. A ditty he often repeated in his later years. He often stated that several of his sannyasis were giving lectures simply to acquire prestige. No, it's really interesting in Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's writing, he uses English words that I had never heard of. When I was editing for one devotee, I was editing years ago, something for from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I had to keep on looking at the dictionary. So I've never heard that word, voluptuaries. So obviously debauchees, I would say, but yeah. He sometimes referred to the babugiri, foppishness, of a number of his disciples. And in a lecture at the end of 1932, he addressed the sannyasis, quote, for the sake of sincere Hari Seva, to facilitate the smooth progress of worldwide preaching of Hari Katha, I am giving the preachers thousands upon thousands of vehicles and have no objection to that. But why get into a car if you consider it something material? Such persons have no right to get in a car. If they do, they will become sense enjoyers. The car should not be given to those eager to ride it, not for the sake of serving Hari Guru Vaishnavas, but to flaunt their own grandeur, who by deeming it material become sense enjoyers and travellers on the path to hell. For such persons, using cars becomes a means of livelihood. Why should persons who do not with mind, body and word sincerely serve the Lord, who who did not give their very selves for serving Hari, Guru, Vaishnavas, ride in cars. Again, in another edition of the Sahajya Sampradaya, if another edition of the Sahajya Sampradaya increases, then we are as good as dead. Therefore, I had proposed that all Tridandi sannyasis should come to Ekayana Mat and no further go for bhiksha. Indeed, I will go begging and feed you. Why do you imitate me? I am not a Tridandi. I am fallen. You are all purifiers, not fallen like I. Is there anything wrong in my considering you purifiers and making you gurus? Deeming you as purifiers, I have made you into gurus. So why do you pretend to be anything else? The Tridandi beggars should at every moment be engaged in Hari's seva with body, mind and words. With what hope we came to serve Hari and what position we have now come to. It's quite a heavy bit of sarcasm there, isn't it?
So this is the chapter entitled Winding Up His Pastimes. Hints of departure. For several years, previous to his passing away, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati often spoke of its inevitability by referring to the residual portion of my life, or this last stage of my life, or by stating I don't have much time left, or I do not know how much longer Krishna will keep me here. In 1927 he wrote, just as Maharaj Pariksit listened to Bhagavatam in his last days, I too desire the association of devotees in my final days. Where there is no Harikatha, it doesn't matter how many friends and relatives are there, or how comfortable the situation is. In my concluding sojourn, such places and association strike me as extremely unnecessary and undesirable. Around 1930, at the annual festival of Ramananda Gaudiya Mat in Kovur, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati told the devotees taking Mahaprasad there, the sun is about to set. You won't get delicious Mahaprasad like this in future. Such a function will no longer be held. In a lecture of 1932, Srila Saraswati Thakur noted that from the beginning of his endeavours, even before founding the Gaudiya Mat, he had been beset by immeasurable obstacles. In transcendental grief, he lamented that he was deprived of service to Shri Radha Vrajamohan and Sri Gaudiya Mat. Quoting Sri Advaita Acharya's elliptic instruction to Mahaprabhu to wind up his pastimes from Chaitanya Charitamrita 3:19-20, he then stated that now the time had come to sing the song of the Avanti Brahmana. And this is the translation of the verse he quoted. Bhagavan Hari, who contains himself within himself all the demigods, must be satisfied with me. It is he who has brought me to this suffering condition and forced me to experience detachment, which is the boat to carry me over the ocean of material life. From early 1935, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati regularly hinted at his imminent passing. While lecturing in Dhaka, he declared, our span of life is short. Our life will be crowned with success if the body wears out while constantly speaking Harikatha. He himself displayed the paragon of such advice during the annual festival of Sri Gaudiya Mat in 1935 by delivering a 16-day series of extraordinary lectures on Srimad Bhagavatam, analyzing in detail its conceptions, theology and teachings. Feeling increasingly disgusted with several of his disciples, Srila Saraswati Thakur would comment on their proclivity for eating and sleeping and their having no inspiration for broadcasting the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He lamented that despite having so many disciples, most of them were Kanishta Adhikaris, fit for archana but not for preaching. On seeing that the number of his neophyte disciples was swelling, he decided to depart. In his last few years of his manifest presence, he often quoted the verses that stress the uselessness of temporal attachments. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, 1422. Therefore this entire universe, which is like a dream, is by nature unreal, yet appears real, and thus covers one's consciousness and assails him with repeated miseries. This universe appears real because it is manifest by the potency of illusion emanating from you, whose unlimited transcendental forms are full of eternal happiness and knowledge. And one from the 11th Canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Material activity is subject to constant transformation, and thus from the planet of Lord Brahma on down there is simply inauspiciousness. The wise man can understand that just as everything he observes is subject to destruction, so also are all things that he cannot directly see. And there's a little note that His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Prabhupada wrote, "In the latter days of my Guru Maharaj, he was very disgusted. Actually, he left this world earlier, otherwise he would have continued to live for many years." And then we'll have when you've done some reading.
Where do you want me to read? Okay. During this period, he frequently recited Madhavahamsa Nirash. O Madhava, as a consequence of the distress experienced in trying to enjoy material life, we are forlorn. He several times narrated the epilogue of the wise old monkey to demonstrate that persons who faithfully abide by the instructions of a genuine guru and thereby engage unflinchingly in Hari Bhakti will certainly attain ultimate welfare. But those who follow evil companions, considering that the aging advisor might be deluded and not know more than anyone else, will undoubtedly reap a disastrous result. Accompanied by 150 to 200 devotees, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati observed Kartik Vrat in 1935 at Radhakund. During that period, he revealed the depth of his dissatisfaction to his householder disciple, Sri Abhay Charanavinda, who had come to visit him. He lamented that even in his presence, his foremost disciples were quarrelling over trifling arrangements for fleshly comfort, causing him much anguish. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati told Abhay, Agun Dwalibe, fire will burn, indicating that a conflagration of party interests would erupt in the Gaudiya Math and destroy it. When we were living in a rented house at Altadongi, he said, if we could collect 200 or 300 rupees, we were living very nicely. We were happier then. But since getting this marble palace in Bagh Bazaar, there has been friction between our men. Who will occupy this room? Who will occupy that room? Who will be the proprietor of this room? Everyone is planning in different ways. Better to take the marble from the walls, sell it, and use the money to print books. On 4 November 1935, Saraswati Thakur revealed service to deities at Kunja Bihari Math at Radhakund, and 2 days later established a Pushpa Samadhi of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur in a nearby separate building named Braj Swananda Shukhada Kunj. Only by overcoming bitter opposition from the resident Babajis was the Gaudiya Math able to acquire these places for worship at Radhakund. Bhakti Saranga Prabhu's go-getting, nothing's impossible, pluck played a crucial role in procuring the resident plots. Speaking at the Yoga Pit on 21 January 1936, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati lambasted materially motivated pseudo-devotees who had given a bad name to Vaishnav Dham, and pleadingly exhorted his disciples to follow the example of genuine devotees, not cheaters. He cited the case of a rascal who, by using a human skull as a drinking vessel, had sought to show himself more renounced than Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, and warned, "Give up duplicity. Abide by the ideal of great devotees, anusharana. Do not imitate them, anukarana. Do not pass your days in idleness. Study Gaudiya and Nadia Prakash daily. May hypocrisy never enter." He cautioned that it was better to be born as an animal, a bird, an insect, or any of the countless thousands of species than to be a hypocrite. For only a person free from hypocrisy can attain real auspiciousness.
Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Gokula Tarune Mandana Mamahite. Gokula Tarune Mandala Maite. Damodarati Vadana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Vrindava Pini. Damodarati Vadana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Vrindava Pini. Rishabhanu Dhanati Navashakshi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake. Rishabhanu Dati Navashashi Leke Lalita Saki Gunu Ramita Vishake Karunam Kurumai Karunabharite Sanaka Sanatana Vamita Charite Karunam Karumai Karunabharite Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Kula Tarani Mandala Maite Kula Tarani Mandala Maite Gokula Tarani Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya, Vaishnav Thakur Jaya, Vaishnav Thakur. Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya, Vaishnav Thakur Jaya, Vaishnav Thakur Jaya, Vaishnav Thakur. What? Oh, translation. Yeah. Chorus. O Radha, O beloved of Madhava, O you who are worshipped by all the young girls of Gokul, all glories unto you, all glories unto you. O you who dress yourself in such a way as to increase Lord Damodar's love and attachment for you, O Queen of Vrindavan, which is the pleasure grove of Lord Hari, O new moon who has arisen from the ocean of King Vrishabhanu, O friend of Lalita, O you who make Vishaka loyal to you due to your wonderful qualities of friendliness, kindness, and faithfulness to Krishna. O you who are filled with compassion, O you whose divine characteristics are described by the great sages Sanaka and Sanatana, O Radha, please be merciful to me.
Can we do Srila Sri Rupa Manjari Pada, because there's so many mentions of this. For example, each morning he would have kirtan performed in his presence. This is right before he was leaving, including singing of Sri Rupa Manjari Pada, Narottam Das Thakur's composition, expressing the quintessence of Gaudiya theology, service or to the intimate maidservants of Srimati Radharani. And one time he asked somebody who'd been singing to stop, and he requested the one who was going to become Sridhar Maharaj to sing. So Sridhar Maharaj sang Sri Rupa Goswami, but he would have it every day sung, so he really liked that bhajan. Shri Rupa Manjari Pada Se Mora Sampada Se Mo Bhajana Pujana Se Mo Bhajana Pujana Se Mo Bhajana Pujana. Actually, I think it's the 1-2 beat, isn't it? Se mora pranadhana, se mora rasanidhi, se mora vancha siddhi. Se mo vede Radharama, se mo vede Radharama, se mora se tapa, se mora mantra japa. Se mo dharma karama, se mo dharma karama, anukula habe vidhi, se pare hoy besidhi. Nirakibo edwinayane, Nirakibo edwinayane, se rupa madhuri rasi, prana kubalaya shashi. Prapulita habe nishidine, Prapulita have nishidine, Tuvadarshanahi, garale jala dehi, Tuvadarshanahi, garale jala dehi, chirodina tapita jivana. Chirodina tapita jivana. Ahapa aharupa korodoya, deha more parachaya. Narottama loilo sharana, Narottama loilo sharana, Shri Rupa Manjari Pada, se mora sampada. Semo bhajana pujana. Semo bhajana pujana. Sorry about the timing. The feet of Srila Rupa Manjari, Rupa Goswami's eternal form as a gopi in Vraja, are my real wealth. They're the object of my bhajan and puja. They're the treasure of my heart, and they are my ornaments and the life of my life. So, just going to read little bits of this. This is winding up his pastimes, and then when he's leaving. So he did, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati went to Puri, and from there he went to Calcutta on the 6th of December. Of course, we know he left on the 24th. So this was, 2.5 weeks before he was leaving us. And he even said to one person who was there, "Now take your last darshan of Srila Saraswati Thakur. I think he will not come here again." And the boy performed Dandavat pranams. So then he was seen off by many disciples and well-wishers to go back to Calcutta. And on the 18th of December, he spoke at length to one devotee and couple of Western devotees, and it's described as his cheeks were becoming red with excitement as he forcefully condemned false discipleship. It was his last talk before he manifested the Leela of being bedridden, never to rise again. Shortly after that, Srila Saraswati Thakur became afflicted by fever, and various doctors were called in, and the Guru, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati told each of them that the body is temporary and the actual need is to perform Hari Seva. And when a doctor wanted to give him an injection, Srila Saraswati Thakur protested, "Why are you disturbing me in this way? Simply chant Harinam, that's all." Then devotees, hearing of his condition, they started streaming in from far and near. So he visited one devotee who was also bedridden and gave him a great surprise just before he left. That devotee was called Ananta Vasudeva Prabhu. So he left on the 30th, left on the 30th. On the 23rd of December, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta instructed in a weak, halting voice the devotees assembled at his bedside. These vital and immortal words were to become famous as his last address, expressing the essence of his perennial message. "I have upset many persons' minds. Many might have considered me their enemy because I was obliged to speak the plain truth of service and devotion towards the Absolute Godhead. I have given them all those troubles only so that they might turn their face towards the personality of Godhead without any desire for gain and with unalloyed devotion. Surely someday they will understand that. All of you propagate the message of Rupa Raghunath with supreme enthusiasm. Our ultimate desire is to become dust at the lotus feet of the Rupanugas. All should remain united in following the Ashraya Vigraha for the sake of serving the Advaya Gyan. In this ephemeral sphere, you should live somehow or other only for Hari Bhajan. In spite of all dangers, criticisms and discomforts, do not give up Hari Bhajan. Don't be disappointed that most people in the world do not accept topics of unduplicitous Krishna Seva. Do not forsake your own bhajan of Krishna Katha Shravan Kirtan, which is your all in all. With humility like a straw and forbearance like a tree, you should always perform Hari Kirtan. Let our bodies, which are like those of aged oxen, be offered into the Sankirtan Yajna of Lord Chaitanya and his associates. We do not aspire to be any kind of heroes of karma or dharma, but our constitutional position and all in all is to, in every birth, become dust at Sri Rupa Raghunath's lotus feet. The Bhaktivinoda Dhara will never stop. With all your energy, devote yourself to fulfilling the desire of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. There are many among you who are well qualified and able workers. We have no other wish whatsoever. Our only motto is, taking a blade of grass between my teeth, I fall down and pray again and again to become dust at Sri Rupa's lotus feet, birth after birth.
There is no need either to be overwhelmed by them or to try to overcome them. Rather, even during the duration of our present life, we must become acquainted with what we shall gain after surpassing all those difficulties, and what shall be the mode of our permanent existence. In this world, we are compelled to make decisions regarding objects that evoke our attraction and revulsion, both those that we want and those we do not want. Attachment and detachment in this damned existence increase according to the degree that we are separated from Sri Krishna's lotus feet. When we are able to transcend the position of attachment and detachment in this world of death and are attracted by the holy name of Godhead, then only can we understand the taste of Krishna's Seva Ras. At the present time, Krishna's instructions seem highly startling and perplexing. Knowingly or unknowingly, everyone who is considered a human being is more or less struggling to eliminate those invading elements that baffle our perception of our eternal need. Our only requirement is to enter into the kingdom of our eternal necessity by going beyond dualities. We have no love or hatred toward anyone in this world. All arrangements made herein are but temporary. Therefore, that supreme goal is indispensably necessary for everyone in this world. All of you should work unitedly and harmoniously for the same objective of obtaining eligibility for seva to the original Ashraya Vigraha. May the conceptions of the Rupanugas flow in the world. Let us never feel the slightest dejection while engaged in the seven-tongued flame of Sankirtan Yajna. 7 tongues refers to the 7 characteristics of Sri Krishna Sankirtan as described in the first verse of Shikshastaka and explained by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. The 7 tongues are... There's a whole lot. Anyway, keep reading. Only if we have undaunted and ever-increasing attachment for it shall we achieve all perfection. Under the guidance of the Rupanugas, all of you should fearlessly and with utmost energy preach Rupa Raghunath's Katha. As phone calls bombarded the mutt, and 2 telegrams per day arrived from London with anxious inquiries about his condition, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati himself remained anxious for the spiritual condition of his disciples. On 24 December, noticing the absence of the sounds of evening kirtan and lecture, he asked why these had been discontinued and immediately had them resumed. On the morning of 31 December, Srila Saraswati Thakur requested Srimad B.R. Sridhar Maharaj to chant Sri Rupa Manjari Pada. But after Sridhar Maharaj started singing, Kunja Bihari Prabhu directed that he stop, and the reputed Kirtaniya Prabhanananda Prabhu take over. Srila Saraswati Thakur then stated that he was not concerned with melodious intonations. So Sridhar Maharaj recommenced. Srila Saraswati Thakur next asked Naveen Krishna Vidyalankara Prabhu to chant Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song beginning Tanhu Daya Shagara Tarite Prani, which is based on the second verse of Sri Shastaka and concludes, "Oh my Lord, I am extremely unfortunate. My attachment for holy name has never come about. The heart of Bhaktivinoda is overwhelmed with sadness." Upon hearing these last lines, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati clapped his hand to his forehead as profuse tears of humility decorated his cheeks, warning of the lamentable plight of being unattracted to the holy name. Naveen Krishna Prabhu stopped singing. That morning, Srila Saraswati Thakur also gave many important instructions for continuing the movement, enjoining his disciples to form a governing body of 10 or 12 members and cooperatively conduct missionary activities under their guidance, and that Kunja Vihari should throughout his life remain as the manager. He ordered that construction of a Natya Mandir begun at Shwananda Shukata Kunj. He asked one disciple, "Among yourselves, who do you consider most knowledgeable of Siddhanta?" The reply was Vasudev Prabhu. Srila Saraswati Thakur affirmed this, and stated that Ananda Vasudev Prabhu should continue to preach Rupa Rakanath Vani. He requested that Sundarananda Vidya Vinod Prabhu be directed to complete and publish Vaishnav Manjusha, expressed indebtedness to Bhakti Sudhakara Prabhu and thanked him for services rendered, and encouraged Brajeshwari Prasad Prabhu of Patna to remain enthusiastic. He asked that his thanks be conveyed to Shaki Charana Bhakti Vijaya Prabhu for his service to Sridhar Mayapur, and told Srimad Bharati Maharaj, "You're a practical man, so look after the mission. Either in love or rupture, it is good to maintain the same purpose." Srila Narottam Das Thakur lived by the principle of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath. We too should live according to that principle. Then he delivered his final message. "All of you, present and absent, accept my blessings. Remember that our sole duty and dharma is to propagate service to the Lord and his devotees." And it describes here the next morning, 1st of January 1937, at about 5:20, Pranavananda Brahmachari's bedside visual was completed. He was handing over the fan and oxygen funnel to Krishnananda Brahmachari when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati aroused and whispered, "Who is there?" "It is me, Prabhanananda Prabhupada." Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati uttered, "Oh, Prabhananda Prabhu." Prabhanananda then asked, "How are you feeling, Prabhupada?" Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati murmured, "Oh, Krishna, Krishna." Hardly had Prabhanananda left the room when he was called back by Krishnananda Prabhu. "Pranava, come quickly, it's over." Thus, after 62 years and 10 months of manifesting unflinching devotion to Sri Sri Radha Krishna in this world, Srila Vashabhanavi Daitya Das rejoined them in the hour of their Nishanta Leela that is the pre-dawn pastimes, of their eternal cycle of daily activities in Vraj, at the hour after their nocturnal sports, when they rest in intertwined embrace, becoming as one body and hence, and giving an indication of Lord Gauranga's appearance. It was 5:30. All the clocks in the mutt stopped simultaneously. Their steady ticking soon replaced by wailing and crying from every corner. Some devotees were sobbing as if their hearts would break. Some were chanting feverishly with eyes flooded with tears. Some swooned. Some simply bowed their heads and chanted Harinam. And some were clapping their foreheads and repeatedly calling out, "A Prabhupada, a Prabhupada." Although the sun had just risen, to the disciples present everything seemed black.
I just wanted to read a little about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj's wonderful character. And it's explained that the character of all Vaishnavas is profound and unfathomable, yet each manifests divine traits in different degrees and in various ways. For instance, Sri Ramananda Roy fully conquered lust. Sri Damodar Pandit was famed for his objective criticism. Sri Haridas Thakur personified forbearance, and Sri Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami were exceptionally meek and humble. Srila Saraswati Thakur was focused, tenacious and staunch. Like his guru, Srila Gaura Das Babaji, he was steadfast in renunciation and bhajan. Despite being raised in middle-class comfort, his innate tendency was towards austerity. As an ideal acharya, he never compromised his practice of devotional principles. He carefully observed the details of sadhana bhakti, such as always wearing tilak, regularly chanting the Maha Mantra on beads, and reciting Gayatri and attending artis. He rose early each morning, usually before anyone else, and rarely napped during the day. Being a Nitya Siddha, there was no need for Srila Saraswati Thakur to follow such ordinances meant for the upliftment of neophytes, yet he did so to set an example for and induce faith within his disciples and the public at large. He averred that if he were not exemplary, no one would obey him. Whatever he asked of others, he himself followed. Had he relaxed his standards even slightly, Prakrita Sahajas would have taken that as an excuse to continue whimsically neglecting the scripturally prescribed regulations of devotional service. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati often quoted from Mundaka Upanishad 1-12 the terms stotriya and brahmanishta, emphasizing that these qualifications are necessary for a divine guru, that means learned in Shastra and fully devoted to the Lord. And that one who has all of them will naturally also be of irreproachable character. By personally fulfilling these criteria, he established the scriptural standard for accepting the role of guru. Moreover, his inestimable qualities distinguished him as a transcendental giant, fit to be addressed as Jagat Guru. Srila Saraswati Thakur was intense, and he intensely desired that everyone he came in contact with, and indeed the entire universe, embrace his mood of unremitting dedication to Krishna. His personality was permeated with utter rejection of anything smacking of worldliness, and because of his nigh insistence that others similarly abandon all attachments and fully surrender to Krishna, he resembled the attack of an aggressor, and he was often misunderstood by those he sought to help. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's very presence inspired awe. His glance was so powerful and penetrating that few could bear it. His every movement and gesture expressed extraordinary inner strength. Many smug persons became humbled and submissive simply by entering his presence. So I'd just like to say also from some devotees that we met in Orissa when we were collecting in Cuttack for the Bhubaneswar temple. This is in 1978. We met two of his disciples. One was Jati Shekhar, and Jati Shekhar gave a lot of anecdotes that are used in this book. And Maharaj said, I relished sitting on his humble ground, on the ground in his humble little shack. And we also would visit him and sit on the ground. And the whole family were wonderful devotees. He had 6 or 7 children. They were all devotees, all with bead bags. The girls didn't ever want to marry. They were very beautiful. He was very humble and devoted. And when Srila Prabhupada went to Bhubaneswar, I think it was in 76, and when Jata Shekhara came in, Jati Shekhara, Srila Prabhupada invited him up and he had him sit on this Vyasasan beside him. And they were like really happy together, like little boys. People described they were like little boys. He was so happy to see his godbrother. So he gave a lot of the anecdotes for this. And we also had a friend called Yagyapati, who was a boy when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta came to the Cuttack temple. He would come for a week every December, and he asked Yagyapati to write for him in Oriya. He said, my Oriya is not good. But Yagyapati said he knew it was good, but he engaged him. And he was just a boy, and he said, he was so kind to me, he was so affectionate. He said, I felt so much love coming from him. And he was just like every day after school he would rush over to the mutt for that time in December each year to be of service, and he absolutely relished that time with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. He didn't take initiation, he took initiation later. Yes, and also Jati Shekhara was saying he was very kind and loving, so you kind of get an impression here of his intensity, but also he was very, very kind and loving to his disciples, and they weren't afraid of him, they all loved him. So, it's kind of like the other side, that he was very kind and affectionate and, very loving to his disciples.
That kindness, what you were saying, Ambika Prabhu, was when Prabhupada, as a young Grihasta with his son, went to Vrindavan for Parikram with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he gave a little bangla bandi for his son.
So now we're going to have Pushpanjali, and we'll sing the Sangsara prayers, and then we'll be prasadam. Glory to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai.
To chat with Vaishnav is better.
She sort of indicated she was.
And then I'll do it. Show me what I've got to do here. Get mixed up.
So you go here, page 3, go right the way through, and there are 4 Srila Bhaktisiddhanta this, and then 4. Anyway, don't worry about that, except you're going to come back and do the first one at the end. So you go right to the end.
So you just keep going through till
you get to the Maha Mantra.
Yep. Go right through.
That's on page 12.
Prayers, just keep going.
No, you only then you go back to.
So I'm coming.
Coming from the beginning, and then you go all the way to. Just read them through.
Right through.
Yeah. And then you go all the way back to page 5.
Yeah.
That first one.
Okay.
And then we throw them.
That again.
Yeah, and then you say.
You do that 3 times, isn't it? So just go right through and then chant that one again.
Yeah,
there's your
3
Pushpanjali.
times.
3 times and then the Pushpanjali.
No, each time.
Chant his prayer
And the
and then
prayer.
Pushpanjali. Read that again. Okay. Well, there's also some up at whatever that Woodford. Do you know where the rest of this? Yeah, but it won't fit in. Yeah, it's not big enough. Oh, okay. I'll be right. I'll get some in a minute. We ready? So we will repeat these prayers after me. Omeganatimanandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tajmaye Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Shwapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvarutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nivasesha Sunyavadi Paschata Desatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Vashavani Videvi Dayatai Kripadhaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayane Prabhave Namaha Madhyuryojvala Premadhya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktita Shri Gora Karana Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Mutyaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudha Pashtidanta Dvantaharine Namo Gora Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Mortaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padam Bhujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchitananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Bhavani Bhumeshtvam Nirdishta Sajjana Priya Vaishnav Savavoma Sri Jagannataya Te Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gora Tvishe Namaha Panchatattvamakam Krishnam Bhaktarupashvarupakam Bhaktabhataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Shurato Pango Mama Manda Mate Gati Matsaravasya Pradam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divya Vrindaranya Kalpa Drumadya Srimad Ratnagara Shimashanasto Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prishtali Visevyamano Shamarami. Shriman Rasaramvi Vamsivata Tatashtita Kashan Venushvanai Gopi Gopinata Shriyeshtudaha Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Vasavanavi Devi Pushpanjali Swaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Namine Echa Pushpanjali Swaha. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Namine Esa Pushpanjali. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj Ki Jai. Saradava Nananida Loka Janaya Karyana Ganaganatvam Samsaradava Nananida Loka Janaya Karyana Ganaganatvam Praptasya Kalina Gunanavasya Vande Guru Sri Charanadavindam Mahaprabhu Kirtanyane Chagita Varitra Madhyan Manasoda Sena Romancha Kampas Rutaranga Bhajo Vande Guru Sri Charanadavindam Shri Vigrahara Dhanyanichanana Sringara Tanmandiramajanadho Bhuktasya Bhaktams Chaniyunjatopi Vande Guru Sri Charanadavindam Jato Vidhasri Bhagavat Prasadho Swadhana Triptim Hari Bhakta Sanghan Kritvaiva Triptim Vajradasa Daiva Vande Guru Sri Charanadavindam Shri Radhikamad Avayorapara Madhurya Leela Gunarupa Namnam Pratikshanashwa Dhananorapasya Vande Guru Sri Charanadavindam Nikunjayono Ratikeli Sidyai Jayari Viyuktirapekshyaniya Tatradi Daksha Dati Valabhasya Vande Guru Sri Charanadavindam Sakshadharitve Nastamasta Sastri Uktatatahabhav Jatariva Sabdi Kintu Prabhoya Priyarevatasya Vande Guru Sri Charanadavindam Jasya prasada bhagavat prasado Jasya prasada nagati kutopi. Dayam stuvam stischaya sastri sanjam Vande Guru Sri Charanada Vindham. Dayam stuvam stischaya sastri sanjam Vande Guru Sri Charanada Vindham. Samsara davanananida loka Sunanaya karina ganaganatvam. Praptascha kalyana gunanavasya Vande Guru Sri Charanada Vindham. 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 Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachadine Nevasesha Sunyavari Pastyata Desatadine. Nevasesha Sunyavari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Rama Ramo Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Rama Ramo Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Rama Ramo Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Rama Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Rama Ramo, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashutara Sadashi Shrimad, His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaja Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashutara Sadashi Shrimad, His Divine Grace Abhay Charan Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Vandaracharya Viskon, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Kori Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sigaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kund Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavana Dhamma Mathura Dhamma Ki Jai. Mayapur Navadip Dhamma Ki Jai. Jamuna Mayi Ganga Mayi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Oh, glorious to the assembled devotees. Oh, glorious to the assembled devotees. Oh, glorious to the assembled devotees. Oh, glorious to Sri Guru and Gauranga, Gaurapremananda. Hari Bolo.
Vaksha Hiranyakashipur Vaksha Shrilatanka Nakaloye Shrilatanka Nakaloye Ito Nusimo Parato Nusimo Ito Nusimo Parato Nusimo Yato yato yamitato nisimo. Yato yato yamitato nisimo. Bahe nisimo idaye nisimo. Bahe nisimo idaye nisimo. Nashingamadim saranam prapaje. Nashingamadim saranam prapaje. Tavakarakamalavare nakam abutta shingam dalita hiranya kashipu tanu bringa keshavajita narahari dupa jai jagadisha vare jai jagadisha vare jai jagadisha vare. Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev. Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev. Jaya Prahlad Mada Jaya Prahlad Mada Jaya Prahlad Mada Jaya Prahlad Mada. Jaya Prahlad Mada Jaya Prahlad Mada Jaya Prahlad Mada Jaya Prahlad Mada. Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur. Shridev Bhagavan ki, Prahlad Maharaj ki, Prabhupada ki, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki, Jai, Go to Premanande.